Hey everybody, this is Benjamin Watson, 16-year NFL vet. I'm an author, a broadcaster, a father, most importantly, a husband of 20 years. Looking forward to this podcast. Make sure you tune in. This is the NFL Players Second Acts podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is Roman Harper.
Yeah. That was your first introduction. Anyways, I want to first of all thank iHeartRadio for allowing us to have their studios right here in the northwest side of Atlanta. I call it Midtown, but it's all good. We'll be bougie today.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk to our next guest because he's a former teammate of mine, a great person, and I call him a teammate now on what I'm doing on my side hustle. So, Peanut, introduce him.
16-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion, broadcaster, author, and probably is known as probably the best teammate around the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ben Watson to the show.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Watson.
Yes, Appreciate you guys. Man,
Yeah,
good
man.
to be
Thanks
here,
for blessing us.
Thanks for coming to our neck of the woods. And
This is not your neck of the woods.
I know. I'm still like 50 minutes away. And it was raining today in Atlanta, so that traffic is,
I hear Atlanta traffic is like really bad. I don't know why.
You hear?
I heard it's. I've never really experienced Atlanta like
with us,
that.
we
Like
live
that's
like outside. We're in the country. I see cows and turkey. I saw some turkeys this morning, so we're not in all the traffic. But yeah, Atlanta. If you're
it's
inside,
like LA bad. What I've heard.
I feel like it's
really
like
bad.
sometimes worse than LA bad. Like LA's bad, but like Atlanta's just like, and it's really because it just stretches for so long.
Yeah,
like from the moment you really started to cross over from Alabama, literally all the way.
It's like Alabama all the way like Chateau Elan.
Yeah,
which is darn near South Carolina.
Yeah,
it's
forever. I think that's the most frustrating thing about the traffic here in Atlanta. For Ben specifically, bro, you know how much you mean to me. I want to tell everybody, Ben Watson. He goes by Benjamin Watson. I call him Ben, so that's how I know.
I'm not offended.
Yeah.
I'm not offended. We can talk about it later.
Yeah, there we go. So Ben came to New Orleans in 2013. He'd already been around an NFL vet, and what he meant to that locker room, being a veteran presence in there. And some of the funniest stories I remember was because Jimmy Graham was still on this team at this point, and Ben was the quote unquote older tight end.
I was an OG. I was year 10 plus at that point.
Yeah, and it was just so funny because I'm like, Ben, like, all right, man, like you're having to block now. And like, he's like, look, bro, because I'm like, Jimmy Graham ain't blocking.
You told me to, and they sure didn't make me block all the time. You're like, dude, I'm not even going to cover you in practice because I know you're not going out for a pass.
I already knew. It was like,
that's bad. If it's that blatant.
Ben was like the number one guy for two teams already. Comes to New Orleans, he's like, dude, I'm like the blocking tight end all of a sudden. And I was like, so when does that kind of happen in your career? He's like, dude, first of all, no tight end's like, bro, I want to be a blocking tight end.
No.
You trying to catch enough passes and they get old enough to where like, okay, now you're going to be a blocker. And you either get better at it or you have no job.
Or you go
Did
home.
anything change? Did you lose a step or anything?
No, I didn't lose a step. I can run. I didn't lose. It was the position. Look, Jimmy Graham deserved to be the number. I mean, this dude, honestly, if you would have told me this guy was going to break all the records,
I would have believed it.
Yeah, because he was on a tear. I'm talking about the last few years there in New Orleans. Probably the best, play with a lot of good athletes. Probably the best complete athlete I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Run, jump, fast, smart, all that type of stuff. And so, yeah, Sean Payton's offense. But with Sean, it was always everybody had a role.
Yeah.
So you had the one guy who was really fast. Take the top off. We're not throwing you the ball.
No doubt. Joe Morgan.
Yep, or Meach.
Or Meach. No doubt.
You're really fast. We're probably not going to throw you the ball, especially as you get older. Had another guy that was intermediate. Had Jimmy, where everything went through him. And then you had another guy, me, who you're going to be on the backside. You're going to block. We might throw you a little check down every now and then and do your job. The good thing, however, was because of the muscle memory that Drew Brees had with Jimmy Graham, when they traded Jimmy, all of a sudden, I'm in year 13 having a career year. Year 12 having a career year because I'm getting all the passes now.
Yeah.
So in that year, statistically, you had 110 targets, 74 catches, 825 yards, and a tie for your career lead and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And you're 12 or 13.
Yeah, I was 35 years old. My wife looking at me like, I thought you were going to retire. I was like, not yet.
Father Time ain't kicking in.
Ben, what was your first welcome to the NFL moment?
Well, I had a couple. First one was the first time I saw Michael Strahan in person.
He's a
He
well put together.
Like,
large individual.
And you're well put together.
Yeah, but this dude, and like his arms were by his knees, and he could scratch his kneecaps. And we were playing in preseason, and I was thinking, he's a DN. I called my daddy. I don't think I can. I don't think this is going to work out for me. Like, I can't block these guys, you know? So saw him in person. Other welcome to the NFL moment was.
Did you even have to block him, or you just saw him?
I just saw him facing our sideline like Goliath taunting the Israelites. And he was like facing our sideline looking at us. And it was the preseason, like the 4th preseason game. He wasn't even going to play. And that was enough. I didn't have to mess with him. Praise God. The other one was we're in practice in New England. And, you know, you're a rookie. You're trying to figure everything out. You're just learning the plays. You're learning what you have to do, not necessarily what everybody else has to do, and not necessarily about reading the coverages. I just want to know my route. Let me get that first. So we run a play. I'm out wide. So wide. I've got a go route. The safety blitzes. I need to run a side adjust. I don't run it. And then I hear this thing that sounds like a torpedo come past my helmet. Tom Brady had threw the ball at me. And I heard the ball coming, but I wasn't looking for it. It almost knocked me out. And the welcome moment was the fact that, look, it's not just about knowing your route. You got to know 3 or 4 things after your route.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't enough just to know, check the box, I got to go route. You better read coverages. You better know everything else, because he's going to throw you the ball. And then after that, you're not going to play anymore because he doesn't trust you.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got a second chance, but that was just because I was a first round pick.
Oh, I mean, that does help. That does help. How about
I don't think I learned that till I was
how about in a game? Did you have anything specifically in a game? Your first, like, what was like, oh man, this is the league.
Like Ray Lewis hit you or something like it.
No, I avoided Ray hitting him. I used to get him in coverage a lot, and that was no problem. I route Ray up in coverage, yeah. Didn't have to block him, praise God. But I'll tell you one thing, Emmitt Smith, we played in Arizona.
Damn, that Emmitt Smith.
2003, 2010.
This is 2004. So this isn't like a welcome to the NFL moment where you get hit or anything like that. But this is 2004. He's playing for the Cardinals.
Yes.
We're playing in Sun Devil Stadium in like September.
So it
was like 125 degrees. So we go out there and we're warming up, and then the game starts, and then I'm on the sideline and I look out there, Emmitt Smith is in the backfield, and I'm like, I'm on the same field as Emmitt Smith right now. And I don't know what it was, but it just like, oh my goodness.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. I'll never forget that. And then also buying, 12 dozen donuts for Willie McGinnis was a big one too. And spending our rookie dinner that year was I think the bill came to $49,000.
Oof.
Our rookie dinner.
Oof. Oh, so y'all took out the whole team.
The whole team. And we all had to split it up.
Yeah.
I remember writing a check for $9,000. Rookie dinner. Welcome to the NFL, my friend.
I had to do just the defense, and my bill was like 15, 18. Licked me.
Ooh.
And it was really because of, everybody, Charles Grant. So CG wasn't.
Of course.
Of course. CG wasn't.
Y'all take the whole team out? Just the defense?
No, just the defense.
Oh, just the defense.
They kind of protected me, but then they also didn't.
Yeah, they didn't.
And I remember like one other rookie, he was a free agent guy. He ordered a steak and then was like, oh, I don't think I wanted that one. I wanted this kind. I said, you gonna eat that steak.
He had some choice words with him. I'm sure there was something else that followed. You said something else like with your chest.
Dude, I thought Vince Wilfork was gonna go shoot somebody.
Oh, he was
so mad. Dude, these dudes walking out of Smith & Walensky in Boston with bottles of Chris.
Ooh.
Just walking out, putting it in the refrigerator for later. on us. Dude's about to fight. Glad they don't do that no more.
So I don't know what year it was, but you're probably Bill Belichick's one of his favorite players, and it was voted as it was voted. Let me finish it. I'm gonna set it up.
You wouldn't know that from the way he said.
It was voted like probably the 85th best play of
There's no
top
probably.
100 plays.
There's no 80. There's no probably. It was voted 85th. 85 out of 100.
Can you not do that?
I'm just.
You're like a terrible
I don't want you to
work
like teeter.
wife.
I don't want you
Yeah,
to teeter.
terrible work wife. You
Don't teeter, man. Just,
Anybody ever told you that? You a terrible work wife. I want a divorce. You bad. Come get me somebody else. It was voted the 85th. Excuse me, I receive it. Let me try back. It was voted the 85th best play.
Yeah.
The Champ Bailey play where you ran him down. How tired were you?
Mile high, exhausted, but I don't know if I was tired as he was. I think we were both gassed. Both gassed. That was, I was just mad, honestly, because I hadn't caught a pass that game.
Yeah.
I was pissed off. And so that probably fueled all that, chasing him down. I'm just mad that back then there were no pylon cameras. And so they got it wrong. Like it should have been a touchback. The ball,
because he fumbled.
He fumbled the ball out of the end zone.
Out of the end zone, yeah.
We should have got the ball. Instead, they got the ball, scored on the next play. They're on the 1 yard line. But it should have been. I know for a fact the ball went out of the end zone. I get back to Boston, and literally for years after that, I got people from Harvard, MIT, talking about they've done case studies on the play. The speed, my speed, his speed, the way we collided, the projection of the ball, the elevation. The ball went out the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
The referees got it wrong.
I believe it. I just remember looking at you on the sideline, and you just like laid there, like as he slid. Champ Bailey head it bounces off the back of his head bounces off the ground.
Yeah.
Man, he just laid there. He just was. I'm sure you were just gassed.
John Lynch was like, man, that was pretty impressive, bro.
Hey, look. If I'm Champ, I'm low key mad. Like, why ain't nobody tell me he was coming over here?
It was a lead blocker.
His boys was tired.
Yeah,
his boys were done.
And the best is like they had one of the mics over. What are the boom mics? They had a mic over on the Broncos sideline. It was like, who was that? And that's 84. The tight end. Yeah. Like you heard it in their voice, like the tight end.
They were sleeping.
The tight end tackled them.
Yeah, they sleeping.
Yeah, they were sleeping.
I could run back in the day before them Achilles.
Who threw a better football? Drew Brees or Tom Brady?
What do you mean by that?
Who, if Ben Watson had to have a catch from one person that his life depended on it, and who's one you taking?
My life depended on it?
Yeah. Who's throwing the rock to Ben Watson? Tom Brady or Drew Brees?
Where are we playing?
Oh my gosh. All these hypotheticals.
You asking a question.
You're right. I'm asking a hypothetical question. And then getting mad that you're asking hypotheticals back.
Where are we playing? What's the time of year? What's the situation? Situational football, man.
All right. In the fourth quarter of an indoor game, who threw a better ball?
Shoot, Drew Brees. In the dome, baby. It ain't no wind, ain't no sun. Now, if we take that same game.
Yeah.
And we go to Buffalo, the fourth quarter, and the wind is blowing the goalpost sideways. Give me Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. That's what he does. Junior. Forgot the junior. That's what he does.
I like how he put that. Give me situation. I need an environment. Indoor, outdoor, time of year. Oh, Drew. Brady. Give it to me all day.
Yeah.
I like that.
What was it like playing for two Hall of Fame quarterbacks like that, though? Like, as far as like in and out of the huddle, the way they operate. Because I practiced against Tom. Like, we would come up there and scrimmage against them. And so I've seen him operate. And I just love his humility. His humility. I know Drew very personally, but to not be a teammate of Tom and to see his humility. But then also get in guys' face, make guys do laps when they jump outside.
Dude.
It's a little different up there.
Competitors. They're both competitors.
Yeah.
And there's no cookie cutter for a leader. Like there are certain traits that leaders have. They serve, they lead by example, they're vocal, but they're all different in their own way because of their personalities. And two totally different personalities. Tom is, as you mentioned, he's boisterous. He'll yell and scream. Practice, he's yelling at the defense. Like that's how he is. Drew is a little more reserved, although he loses it sometimes too, as we all do.
Yeah.
But he's not yelling on the sideline. He's more the silent, leader that gets things done on the sideline, but they both prepare very well. I remember coming to New Orleans and my first year there, and I walk in there on like maybe a Friday or a Saturday. Might have been a Saturday. And I walk into the weight room. We had the field house right next to the weight room, the indoor facility, and it was dark in the indoor facility, except for some shadows. And I look out there and I see this shadow figure out on the field by himself. He was out there for probably 20, 30, 40 minutes. And I was talking to the strength coach, asking what Drew was doing out there. Oh, he's going through his checks in the game plan. This dude was out there in the dark by himself, going through every single play on offense, going through you've seen him, every single read he's going through by himself, visualizing the game. The preparation and things that these guys do in the dark. I remember coming home, I had an ACL, and I was out my rookie year in New England. The team had a game in like San Diego. When you play in San Diego, you from Boston, that's like a 6-hour flight. Like you're not getting back till morning rush hour the next day if you're playing on a Sunday night. So I come in for rehab early in the morning. The team had played a night game out there in San Diego. Walk in there to the locker room, nobody's there. I hear somebody in the weight room. I go into the weight room because I had to do my rehab. Tom's in there working out. Got off the plane, instead of going home, decided to go in there and get his workout in. And so those are the things I think that when you hear guys talk about those two quarterbacks specifically, it's leadership, it's commitment, it's preparation, it's challenging other players, it's lifting guys, the way they play. It's trust. It's being in the huddle and looking at those guys and saying, "With y'all here, I know we got a chance to win."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're known around the league, your reputation around the league as being known as probably a great teammate for one, and then two, just like leadership. Do you view yourself as being like one of the best leaders or great leaders around the league?
I think that leadership is something that's earned.
Yeah.
Over time. I do think that there are certain innate qualities that we all have that can lend themselves to being leaders at a larger scale when we have the right opportunity.
Right.
And so for me, when you're a rookie in the league, your first, second, third year, be quiet, learn what to do, especially in New England, be seen, not heard. Mm-hmm. And that was how you operate. Then as you get older, you're automatically a leader once you've been in for a while. You know how it is. Like once you get past 8, 10 years,
you the OG.
You OG. Like, dudes are looking at you as a leader, whether you feel like you're a leader or not. And then what's interesting is God elevates your platform from a leadership perspective sometimes when you least expect it.
Yeah.
And so for me, really the last 5 years of my career, in 2014, you remember when in St. Louis, Missouri, where the officer killed the young black kid, and there were riots and people were crying, some people were upset, and then they decided not to indict the officer. I'm a backup blocking tight end. I'm pissed because, look, I love this team, but inside I want to start. I want to play. I want my name to be in lights. But I wasn't on the field, and it was at that moment really that things transitioned from a leadership perspective, even outside of the locker room, because I write this Facebook post about what happened, about my feelings, and people see it. I get an opportunity to speak about race and faith in this country and all these sorts of things, and I'm looked at as a leader in a different light. Mm-hmm. But really, it's simply because I was just doing what I was supposed to do in the dark. And God decided at that point in time, I'm going to elevate you and give you an opportunity. And I think the lesson there is for leaders that we learn how to be leaders in the mundane. Like we learn how to be leaders in the common practices of life. Many times we think leadership is something that has to be seen in the big lights, on television. You got to have thousands of people following you. No, leaders are forged in the crucible of being responsible with the responsibilities that you have as a husband, as a father, as a teammate. And then, if you get an opportunity to shine on a larger scale, man, if you're responsible with little, you can be responsible with much.
I mean, like that's beautifully said. I mean, I'm not surprised coming from you. I mean, this guy does write books, so not trying to water it down at all.
You kind of did. You kind of did. You should have said that was beautifully said and then left it at that. But I'm not surprised. I mean, you write books. So like, you just shit on them. Don't do that.
It's so good.
Don't do that.
But I will say this though, how did that? Because you went from being an angry, disgruntled, second string tight end at the time that's having to block. You guys you didn't have a great year that year. The Saints did not.
Yeah.
In 2014, when you started hot, then you got bad. Because you let us get in the playoffs that year. I'm not saying I'm bragging or anything. But then all of a sudden, I see you on like CNN. You're not just on TV like talking football. You're talking everything else but that. And
current events.
Yeah, current events, politics. And people are looking at you as like, this guy is in a sport that everybody looks at as like, they're not smart, they're dumb, they're just barbarians.
Shut up and dribble.
Yeah. Just shut up and dribble, shut up and play basketball, play football.
Yeah.
They're looking at you like, no, he has the spoken word of a real man.
Got ideas. He's got he's got great ideas. He's got opinions.
What was that like? How was that? I don't even want to call it a transition, but what was that week in that time in your life? What was that like?
Well, you know how it is in the locker room. Look, there's a perception about professional athletes, especially football players. I like to say we're the most educated professional sport, honestly, because all our guys, most of them go to college.
Well, you got to go.
Yeah, you have to. Like,
you got to be 3 years removed.
We can't leave from high school and so we're educated. I mean, we got guys in these locker rooms that are smart, that understand the world, that care about different things. And so, like for me, the awesome thing was having an ability to express yourself in ways that you hadn't quite before, and having an opportunity to speak about things that impact all of us. Yeah. I mean, we're fathers, right? We're husbands. We're citizens of this country. We care about what happened. We come from communities. We live in communities. Like we have aspirations outside of the game. We want our voices to be heard and understood as much as anybody else, and we deserve that. We have dignity as humans that is outside of our ability to play football. And so when you have an opportunity to go on cable news or go speak somewhere and it has nothing to do with football, it's a good feeling. At the same time, one of the first things that people tell you when you get in the league is use football. Don't let football use you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Use football. Don't let football use you. And it's because of football that I had an opportunity to do those things. It's because of football that we all have different opportunities, because there is a certain platform and gravitas that comes with playing this game. But when it's shifted and you get an opportunity to speak about other things, it's also validating to say I'm not that I'm more than an athlete, but that the totality of who I am is much greater than the sport.
Did you get a lot of I don't want to say hate, but like negativity toward speaking on some of the current events? Was there a lot of smoke that came with that?
I mean, I don't even think we called it smoke back then. Like but there's what's cool is they always say don't talk about politics and religion, but in football we talk about all the stuff.
Locker room's such a different space.
Exactly.
It's like that was going to be my follow-up question. Is the locker room the safest space you've ever been in?
It is. It's crazy in corporate. In corporate, you can't say nothing. Like people are on pins and needles. Like, guys, it's okay. Like these are things we're all thinking about. Let's just talk about it. And so it was cool to see even coaches coming aside and be like, man, I heard what you said. I agree with it, although I can't, really talk about it. I will get messages from people that agree with me 100%, people that thought I was a complete idiot and a buffoon, and everywhere in between. People are looking for authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, even if we just got out of a political election, whenever you see this podcast, it might be a few months ago, whatever it was, but we all still know what happened. We just got out of that. What we yearn for, even in people that we don't agree with, is authenticity. Like, we want them to be convicted with their convictions and be true and through, like live with integrity. And even the people that didn't agree with me, they say, I don't agree with you. I don't know about this God stuff. I'm not a person of faith. or I think that race is fine in America, whatever. But I trust you because I think you really mean the best for people. And so to me, that's what it's about. So if you're getting the smoke, if you're getting the hate, you know what? That's fine to be challenged. Everybody doesn't have to agree, but we should be able to trust that we have each other's best interest at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have this quote from The Cost of Good Leadership. And I want to know how you tried to model yourself as a player and in your everyday life. I'm going to read the quote to you first, okay? Good leadership is about managing your burdens well while being willing to sacrifice for others. Understanding the cost of leadership will help you become someone worth following. How do you think you try to portray those characteristics in your everyday life, and then specifically even more in a locker room, especially as you became who you have become?
Yeah, man, I started off in New England with the Patriots, and we won a lot, but a really tough place to play.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've heard that.
You know what I'm saying? Like one of them places where, hey, there's high expectations, a lot of accountability. But one of the things when we used to come into the building in New England at Gillette, on the door, you had all these things. You saw a version of them in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because they all come from the same coaching tree. Everybody copies everybody else. But one of the things is put the team first. And leadership is about being a servant. That's antithetical to how we many times think about leadership. Who's always in the front? Automatically a quarterback's a leader. Automatically a spokesperson is a leader. Automatically the person that's making the most in NIL now, if you're in college, is a leader. But true leadership is serving others.
I agree.
And we do that in different ways. One of the ways we do that is if it's your role to run down on special teams and you're the starting safety, been to Pro Bowls, and you do it to the best of your ability, you're a leader. Like, you're a leader. People are watching that. When you respond a certain way to disappointment or losing, you're a leader. People are watching you. When they ask you to do something for someone else on the field, or let's translate it, let's move it to home. When you come home and your wife has been home all day and you're tired and you know she's tired, but you put her needs first and allow her to have a reprieve when you want one, you're being a leader. And so for me, what I saw and what I tried to do in the locker room was, man, be a trusted voice, be an authentic voice, be someone who is yes, a leader in my performance and my consistency on the field, but also somebody who understands that, man, leadership really is about serving. Like, you know, you're a leader when people are in crisis and having trouble in their personal life, they seek you out.
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't seek out the guy who's the most popular, who seems to have the fastest car and all the girls. They may not seek him out. When they're having problems, when they're struggling internally with something, with fear, with failure, spiritually, someone passed in their family, they're facing a scary situation, they're on the bubble, whatever it may be. Years later, somebody may call you up. Man, I was with you in the locker room. I was doing my thing. Man, can you help me out in this situation? That's leadership. And that's what we all strive to be.
Yeah. I like that you said the leaders, they run down on special teams. I'm on it again. This dude never played. He just refused to play special teams. Like, I will not let that rest. I will not let that rest.
Sometimes. I've seen him.
Yeah, on kickoff.
I've seen him in kickoff.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Don't do that. Don't co-sign on this fool.
He's just mad because, like, I'm not a special teams guy. Like, I'm sorry. I wasn't a punt return.
But you would if you had to.
Yeah.
If they asked you to.
They never asked me to. I did punch a personal protector a couple times.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've been doing PP.
Yeah, I've done PP before.
I gotta watch the film. I don't believe
I
it.
wasn't like
He had a sweet little cadence.
Yeah.
He had to make it sweet, though. He had to make it different than everybody else. Like, you know, he had to put his own sauce on it.
So you're a writer, speaker, author. correspondent, film, TV. You got 7 kids.
Damn.
He was only going for 6.
Husband, I'll throw that in. That's one of the most important pieces. Your husband, like, where do you find the time to, one, speak about the things you want to speak about?
Yeah.
Again, like as I alluded to earlier, you speak about current events.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do you have the time to do any of this? Because that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't do good with my time. I don't. One thing I'm trying to do better with is my replenishment cycles and taking time for myself for things that are important to me to have that cycle so that I have enough to give out. I've experienced burnout in some regards. I think that one of the toughest things in retiring, I guess almost 5 years ago now, was like a lack of schedule.
Yeah.
A lack of a schedule and a lack of a cadence. Like everything in life, date night is predicated on Tuesday being your day off or Thursday, whenever you want to do it. Like your vacations, you know what you got to do here. You have a sense of accomplishment. And then when I retired, it was like, you get all these opportunities. What do you say no to? What do you say yes to? And next thing you know, you're spent 7 a.m. is whatever at night. My daughter gets done with ballet at 9:30 at night. And I'm trying to figure out when have I had time to really do anything and take a breath. And so when do I have time? It comes in spurts. One thing I'm learning is when I'm home to be present. And I've known that. That's nothing new. But as busy as we are, as fathers, as businessmen, whatever we're doing, when you're home, you got to be present. Like your kids don't care how much money you made. They don't care how much you're on TV. I had a time I came home from SEC Network from the weekend, and my daughter, she was 7 years old at the time, and she said, "Daddy, I saw you on TV this weekend." I said, "Yeah, how did?" She said, "Man, you look you look really, really happy. You were smiling. Why don't you smile when you're at home?"
Ooh.
But what she was saying was, man, you go out here and you work and you perform and you put out there. And then when you get home, when we need the best of you, you're drained and you're moping around and you're in a sense of duty here at home.
How was that received?
I received it like, man, yeah, I needed that. I needed that correction.
And it was better coming from your daughter than the wife. 1,000%.
Oh, 100%.
Like 1,000%.
100%.
1,000%.
But when that happens, you thank them for telling you that. Man, thank you for telling Daddy that I can make changes here. And so getting back to your question about when I have time to do things, I block time during certain times of the year for certain things. You know, this is SEC time. This is SEC Network time. The majority of my time is preparing for the weekends, for broadcasting and watching him, do his thing and talk about the football games. You know, in the off season, there's the other things that I'm doing. But one of the things that I'm always doing is being with the kids as much as I can. We had a wrestling match last night, my son's first wrestling match.
Did he win?
Both the matches went very quickly.
Okay.
He did not win either one.
Okay.
But I was there.
Sorry,
That's all that matters.
His first one.
Exactly.
They just want you there.
I was there.
They just want you
For
there.
all 30 seconds.
Hey, how are you enjoying doing the STV on the SEC Network? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
Yeah, man, I'm enjoying like seeing the storylines. I'm enjoying this time of year when I know the teams. I don't enjoy getting to know the teams. Like I don't enjoy the first 6 weeks of the season.
The talking season.
Yeah, the talking where everybody's like playing these out of conference games and they're going to win by 70 points. You don't know who's good and who's not.
Yeah.
All you know is some statistics. Like I don't enjoy that. I do enjoy like understanding, man, this team is really good at this and they're going to match up like this against this team and seeing how that goes. You know, that's intriguing to me. I enjoy being in studio with the guys. You know, I enjoy the camaraderie. I don't enjoy the fact that we don't leave the studio till 1 a.m. I suffer for 3 days trying to catch up with sleep off that.
Where's the SEC?
We're in
studio?
Charlotte.
in Charlotte.
Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah.
Right there in Valentine.
Yeah, we're in Charlotte.
But so the nightly show that he's on was the one I first started on.
Yeah.
And so when I went back on the road, because COVID lifted, I went back on the road. That's when Ben came in right behind me.
Yeah.
And he did the night show. And the night show's great. Like, the guys there are awesome. A whole bunch of laughs. We're funny a lot. But then it's also like, bro, you don't know what time that thing gonna end. Because like, whenever that last game rolls through, that's when you get to start.
When you get started.
But before that,
You're just sitting and waiting.
there.
Sit around and wait.
You're just there.
You're there all day long.
All day long.
Half times and post games and fills when when there's lightning delays, all that good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you talked about the priorities and where, you're more of a seasonal guy. When this season happened, this is where I'm at. When this season happens, where is this at? How long is it taking you to kind of figure out a good schedule? Because like, it's taken me years where I'm like, okay, I kind of like where I'm at. All right, this day is focused on this. This day is this. This day, I'm taking the kids to school because my wife's grinding on it, and I want to just let her sleep, even though she's not going to.
Yeah. It's been a work in progress, and I still don't have it all. And I think also it was about giving myself some grace. Through my football career, I don't know about you guys, but man, every day had a focus and a checklist. Every day, down to your chiropractor, your massage, your meals, obviously the practice schedule, all that type of stuff. But every day was really set during the season. And now, man, things change a bit. And what was frustrating was that I didn't have this set schedule, but now I'm understanding, look, there are certain priorities, but also give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Like if you don't hit something today that you needed to hit today, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's big deal.
Like, the world is going to keep going.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. And as an athlete, I struggled with that. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be prepared if I don't get this done right now because I had to go pick up the kids from here and I want to pick them up because I'm available now. It's not like I have to be anywhere. And so giving myself some grace has been big. I went and did a thing called life plan a little while ago. And it's an intensive 2-day process where you kind of map your life and kind of find your calling, your mission, the things that you're good at, how you're designed, what you need to replenish and to be at your best, how to filter out no's and yeses for different opportunities. Man, should I pursue this business? Should I not do this? This isn't going to be fulfilling for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it really gave me kind of a sense of clarity as far as, look, these are the things that are priorities in your life. Like, these you don't give up. Family, your mission, your faith, whatever it is. These are things that can kind of rotate a bit. These are things that are going to drain you. You might be good at them. You might have an opportunity to do them, but man, you're not wired to do that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the work in progress I mentioned, where it's a discovery time. I think Roman, like right now, I'm at the first 4 years out of the league were a lot of ups and downs, even emotionally.
Yeah.
There were times where I had to go see a psychiatrist, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, dude, I don't know what am I accomplishing? What am I doing? And those are just really real feelings, raw feelings of like depths.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like 4 years out, 5 years out almost, starting to see like this next life and all that it has to offer, and it's okay.
Was it hard to make that decision to go talk to somebody?
Yeah. I remember the first time I went to go see a psychiatrist, I was in year 6 in New England. It was my last year there, actually year 5 in New England. And I was just having stress headaches. I was just overwhelmed. And we didn't have kids at the time. And my wife told me, you need to go see somebody. I went to go see somebody. That was my first entry into what now is like mental health.
I don't think it wasn't called that back in the day.
This was 2008.
Yeah.
Like, won't nobody going to see get any that type of help. But that was my first experience there, and it helped me finish out my years there and kind of have a different outlook. But then fast forward to now, it still was difficult to admit that the walls are closing in.
Yeah.
You know, that you're in a place that you can't get yourself out of. You can't work yourself out of this. You need help. But what's crazy is as soon as you take that first step, you have that first consultation, you're like, man, why haven't I done this before?
Yeah.
What is the shame? There ain't no shame in it. We don't have shame when we go get our car fixed. We don't have shame when we go get a massage because we got a bad hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why should we be ashamed to go have somebody help you with your life?
Yeah.
You know, and with some of the chemical struggles that you're dealing with, we repair everything else. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to say it. We talked about that earlier. One, about showing each other a little bit more grace, but two, part of the hardest thing for us as athletes, but hell, Black athletes, like it's just kind of a stigma. Like it's taboo growing up in a Black home or household to go and talk to someone about like what's going on up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of looked down upon, you know, within the community. I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I just think everybody you have to figure out a way to where Ben's saying, like, you at some point you get comfortable enough or you get scared enough to be like, I got to do something.
Yeah,
because you know something's just not right. I want to tell you something else that I would look on the outside and say I don't know if it was right either, Ben. That was you playing football till you're 39 years old.
Yeah.
Even though
I don't know if it was right either.
Even though,
well, if Kirsten was here, she'd be like, I know it wasn't right.
Especially because, like, you know, you'd had a couple injuries. You tore Achilles. You ruptured your Achilles. How old were you?
I was 36.
Yeah.
36 with the rupture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a sit down stage. You shut it down.
Yeah,
Ruptured Achilles, 9 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
You ain't doing nothing.
Changed my whole life.
Okay.
Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. And you still had all these other things going on. I think you were being an author at this time. You had written a book.
Yeah.
You, like I said, you had been on CNN, like doing all these things. You've been pulled in many, many different directions.
Yeah.
Yet you chose to still try and roll back out there. Why?
Man, why? I'm a person that has a strong sense of commitment to a fault. I feel like once I start something, I can't walk away from it, even if it's beating the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I also felt like, man, there were things in this game that I wanted that I hadn't accomplished yet.
Like what?
Going to the Pro Bowl.
You never been to Pro Bowl?
No.
Really?
Going to the Pro Bowl.
I don't think
as stupid as that sounds right now.
No, it's not. It's not.
At 43,
like,
almost 44 right now, as stupid as that sounds right now, there were things that I thought I could maybe do.
Yeah.
At 36 years old, you ain't going on. If you ain't been yet, you ain't going. You know what I'm saying? But then I was thinking, man, I'm gonna come back from this. I'm gonna make it to the Pro Bowl. I've deserved it in the past. I'm gonna earn this accolade. You mentioned being a Super Bowl champ, right? The Super Bowl that I played in, we lost. The Super Bowl that we won, I had an ACL. I want to be back on the field for a Super Bowl, right? I want to make a little bit more money.
No doubt.
There's never enough. Billionaires say the same thing. It's never enough. When is it really enough? You know, a whole litany of pride, you know, identity.
Yeah.
Hey, I put a lot into this. Like, I put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, as they say, a lot of emotional scars. I fought through a lot of stuff. I came back from a lot of stuff, moved my family around. Like, this is not who I am. But man, this is a big part of who I am.
Right.
You know, like if I don't do this, who am I?
Yeah.
You know, it's tough to say, but those are the things that like kept me going. And a lot of people say, man, you got this beautiful family. Yes, I do. You got this wonderful wife. Yes, I do. We'll be married 20 years next year. It'll be 20 years. You got all these things going for you. Yes, I do. Man, you've had 7 concussions. Yep. You had ACL. You've had Achilles. You've had, I've had everything.
Yeah.
Why are you still playing? Well, because those things I still feel like I want to do. And so that's why I kept going. And then there was this other part of it as well, that man, I would say my last 5 years in the league were probably the sweetest as far as impact goes. Because there's this other side that says, okay, if I'm going to be in this locker room, I have a chance to impact young men's lives, which impacts generations. Like, I may be the only guy that has the status to look at them and say, man, what are you doing with that girl? What are you doing with these kids? You haven't seen your kid in how long? You can be a dad even if you didn't have one.
Right.
I'm saying like you can change the course of your entire family tree. I believe that about you. I can talk to another guy and say, hey man, you're struggling with this. Man, this is what scripture says about your situation. And so there was this desire to achieve and attain for sure. There was also this, man, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have this opportunity to be in this locker room and impact these young men outside of the game for eternity. I don't want to take that for granted. So I wanted to be on mission, in that respect. It's like, okay, if I'm going to be in this locker room and keep playing, it's going to suck in a lot of ways. I can't wait till game day because I'm going to have some good medicine and my body's going to feel good. on game day, practice is going to be terrible. Yeah. But I can also impact these young men. Like that was my goal.
And at that point, the NFL locker room had completely flipped upside down. We're like, it wasn't older vets anymore. No. It was like one or two maybe, and then it was a whole bunch of young guys. So what you were saying is true value and impact. That's something I just was not even thinking, but really truly serving.
I really felt that when you was talking to me, like I need to be a better dad. And I know you was using me as an example, but like the way you looked at me, it was very intentional. And I was like, yeah, I do need to be a better dad. I don't know my dad, but I know my dad. But it made me feel like I was like, damn, I feel that. Okay.
Ben,
that was good.
Have you gotten over not accomplishing all those goals?
That's part of my journey, even with my psychologist. It's part of it. It's part of it's part of the process of moving on in total contentment and being totally, I guess, forward facing. Is part of it. Is getting over some of those things. And no, I haven't gotten over some of those things.
Is that a good thing for you to be able to say, no, I haven't?
It's a true thing.
Yeah. Could you always do that though?
Yeah, for the most part, I could say that. Okay. It's almost embarrassing to say a bit.
Yeah. No, it's not embarrassing.
It's embarrassing a bit to say. It could be. But I'm confident in that. There are some things that I haven't gotten over, and it's certain times a year. It's certain times a year when certain things are announced or certain teams make this. Or,
triggers.
It's those
like, triggers.
Like, what would have been? You play it out in your mind a different way. But that's part of the process. So
I think my trigger's Super Bowl.
Oh, there's
I never won a Super Bowl. And he always throws it in my face.
And I'm y'all friends.
Yeah, we are. We're work wives.
Right? What a jerk. What the biggest jerk. The biggest jerk.
But then Ben, like,
he's like, I'm gonna put out my ring right now.
Yeah, he does like that all the time.
But then Ben, like, it's also where I get very triggered when we bring up Super Bowl 50 because like I have this secret vendetta that what happened, and I'm just like,
yeah,
it was really good, but like it ended terrible in my opinion, and it's because of this. So
is that a thing though? Like I know our Super Bowl. So that was the 2018 Saints Rams.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
The pass interference.
That's what made me go play another year.
I gotta get this Super Bowl.
It can't end this way. I was done. I was retired. I was done.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not playing anymore. Even after that game, I was like, I'm done. It got to be like May and June, and I started thinking, it can't end. It can't end like no, it can't end that way. Go back out, run back out there like an idiot.
It's a competitor in this. So I'm real big on like education, right? I went back to school in 2015. I got a degree. I wanted my kids to see that I graduated. Mm-hmm. Now I know you're in school right now. Where are you going and what are you studying?
Yeah. I'm I'm actually on a break.
Okay.
Because of football season. I realized I can't do it at the same time.
No way.
Yeah, but I have completed a full year at American University.
Okay.
Fully online. American University is a private university in Washington, D.C. And I'm studying, getting a master's in public administration and public policy.
Okay.
I was a finance major at Georgia. I was, never thought I'd do anything like this, but just because of conversations and spaces that I've been in, want to have a better understanding of policy, how it impacts communities and people, administration. So it's been fun. My intro class was like, okay, I'm gonna be cool with this. And then they pulled out the legal aspect and all these court cases, which was interesting but difficult. And then it got to budgeting and corporate budgeting, not corporate, but like cities and managing all that stuff. So it's been challenging, but it's been good to think in a different way.
Yeah.
Do something different. Part of it was I want to challenge myself to think I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I want to challenge myself in a different way.
I like the fact that you're going back to school. I think I grabbed my degree in like 2015 during the season. And, I graduated the summer of 2015 when I was in Charlotte, and we've had all types of guests come on this podcast. And I'm real big on like staying green. You're either green and growing or ripe and rotten. And I always want to stay green and just keep growing and keep learning, learn something new. I propose that me and this guy go back and we get an MBA. Like I'm down to get a second master's. So I'm trying to get him.
Okay.
I'm like, come on, let's do it. Let's go get our MBAs. Like the league will pay for it.
You're exactly right.
The league will pay for it. So we gonna get reimbursed. Like let's go get this. Let's go get this bread. Let's go get it. Come on.
All right. You know what? Because Ben's here. I'm gonna be real honest. All right. Number one, neither of you guys saw me as a student in college. Right? Number two, I did, and I ain't trying to go back. I don't want to have nothing to do with none of that. None of that.
I ain't gonna lie. Like the prospect of going back to school, it sounds good, and then like you realize you're 40 something years old, and it's just like I'm on these Zoom calls with these kids getting their masters, and I feel like I'm the oldest person on this call. These folks are fresh out of college, and they know how to use the calculator and do everything. I don't know. I had to have my daughter show me about Canva and how to do a presentation.
What's the Canva?
Canva, it's like this site where you can make slideshows and presentations. I'm up here talking about like PowerPoint. She's looking at me like, what?
So PowerPoint is not a thing anymore.
Bro, man, no.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Did you want to send me out there like that?
No, I'm gonna be with you.
You got to be in Google Docs and all that stuff.
Yeah,
dog.
you can't send me out there like that. No, I'm straight.
We've all had some success in our lives, and we've all had people to kind of shape and mold us and kind of who we are today. If you had to put 4 people on your Mount Rushmore of influence, who would those 4 people be?
Just people in general who have influenced me?
Yes, sir.
First one would be my father.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. First one would be my dad, Ken Watson. Daddy is 68 years old now. Living in Rock Hill, South Carolina, still pastoring a church there that he planted. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. He was the disciplinarian, but also the one who nurtured us. He and my mom, just leaders in a lot of ways. Was best man at my wedding. So the first one would be my dad because he's my hero. Like he's the one I always wanted to be like. I still want to be like my dad. So he's the first one. Second person, I would say, man, David Patton.
DP, yeah.
DP. And I've never had anybody ask me this question before, but the reason why I say him, especially in this context, is when I was a rookie, I was engaged. We got engaged right before my rookie year, got married after my rookie year. And in that locker room, my locker was right next to David Patton. And he would always talk about his wife, like all the time. Like he sent her flowers, she sent him flowers. His family was in South Carolina, so we had that connection. And he was the one person in the entire locker room that said, man, this is a good thing. You can do it. Like you can be married in this league. You can have a relationship. Man, I'm proud of you for doing this. And again, he was one of those veteran players. one of those veteran voices. You know, I miss him. He's passed away, but you know, he was a guy that when I think about leadership, man, he's there. Man, this person, you know, doesn't have a face. He walked this earth 2,000 years ago, and I probably should have named him first, but it's Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Fully man, fully God, died for our sins, made it so that we could be made right with him. The entire scripture is about that one person. And the one thing I do every day, I try to do every day, is read my Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is truth in God's word. And when I look at my life, and I look at my perspective on life, it all comes because of my relationship with Jesus Christ. So he's on there, even though we don't know what he looks like. His face is on there.
Yeah.
And then lastly, would be my wife. You know, would be Kirsten. We've been married for going on 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
She's my best friend. She challenges me. She sharpens me. She's my helpmeet, as scripture talks about it. You know, when the two become one flesh. She's the one I trust the most. She's the one whose opinion matters the most. You know, from anything from what I'm wearing to how I'm speaking to things that I would do. She's the why not. She's the one that tells me, who's more reserved, man, go try this.
Mm-hmm.
Go do this. Yes, go try to do TV, see if it works. Yes, go do these sorts of things. She's my best friend. So
yeah,
that was a good question, dude. I never thought about that.
Yeah, glad
Well,
we just came up with
I
it.
like it.
First time we ever did it.
I like it.
Kirsten is the happiest pregnant woman I've ever seen in my life. Did you tell her I said that?
Pregnant woman?
The happiest. I've never seen a pregnant woman as happy as she is. Just like,
she wasn't happy with the last two.
The twins got her off.
We never finished the story, but you were right. You slid that in there talking about we really wanted 6. So basically, we had 5.
Yeah.
We talked about having 4.
So this started even way before this. So Ben Watson is the first person, because I had 2 girls. And I was like, I don't think I can have boys. Ben Watson's the only person that I was like, dude, you can do it. You can do this, Roman. I had 2 girls first, and look at me. I got like 2 boys now. Like, bro, you can do this.
So he's responsible for the boys?
Yes. You got to fight through, dog.
That's the first thing Ben's like, bro, you can do this.
You can do it, man.
Right? You can do this. You can control this.
Yeah,
right?
you get nervous. You get scared.
He's like, bro, you can't.
But I tell you what, like, I'm so glad I had those girls first.
Me too.
Dude, my boys are idiots. I'm just gonna say it. Like they are. So we had 2 girls and we had 2 boys.
Yeah.
Then we had another girl.
Yeah.
I was 5.
And he's like, we got to go even number.
No. She said I was good. I'm good at 5. Like,
I knew it was an even number
5,
thing.
5 is good.
Yeah.
5 is good. She wants everybody to have, you know, a friend on the roller coster and even numbers and a partner and everything.
On the roller coaster.
And so, yeah, we tried for number 6. Sadly, after I don't know if you knew, we had 2 miscarriages going for number 6. Yeah. And find out at that point, man, there's a lot of people that struggle with that. Like, we didn't know. It's a very common occurrence, but one that we as a community, like, just don't do well. Like we don't comfort people.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
You do it in silence too.
Yeah. And it impacts women, but it impacts fathers as well. Like, losing a child is a big deal. And so we went through that twice, living in Baltimore by ourselves. Had the Achilles. Like, it was a really, really low time for us as a family. And then we said, we'll try one more time. We moved to New Orleans. I go in there to look at the ultrasound picture. At this point, I already know like what everything is, and we're scared because of the miscarriages. She says, there a baby in there, and the lady goes, well, I don't see 1, I see 2. And so we go from 5 to 7. So we still uneven, but 7's a number of completion, and we are complete and perfect. We ain't gonna have 8.
Complete and perfect.
I'm out of the game. I'm out, bro.
No, but I
like that
thought
story.
It was hilarious because going with 6, then got 7. He was like,
7,
dude. Nobody got twins.
No,
we don't know where it came from.
So she wasn't happy in that pregnancy, dog. she was not happy with that.
She wasn't happy with that one. She's, I've seen her through 3 pregnancies. She's the happiest pregnant
woman. Them twins are
different,
dude.
They got her.
Dude, them twins tried
stress on the body.
Oh man, they tried to kill her. The twins, them 2 identical boys. They literally tried to like take everything from her. They 5 years old now. Whenever they disrespect their mom, I'll be like, dude, I will smack your face off. Like, if you know this woman went through having you,
Right.
She ain't go through all that having other ones, but you better never say anything bad.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Hey, well, thank you again.
Hey, man,
Appreciate you coming
Give
on,
me that
man.
confidence too, dog. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
that, dog. The first one.
Dude, just make sure when Lil Rome and them, when they go do great things in life, just make sure I get a ticket.
I got you, dog. I got you. Same back. Well, anyways, man, thank you as always, Ben, man. Appreciate it, bro. You're a blessing everywhere you go, into every room you're into. So continue on your happiness on your journey. I love calling you a teammate now again. Being with the network, we still text and talk about all those things, and we get to talk college football, which we both love. So, and everybody, he also went to Duke as well. He's not just a Georgia guy. So
I'm a devil dog.
I don't think I knew that.
You didn't know
I didn't know
Devil
that.
dog, yeah.
I don't think I knew
Nobody knows that, but he started out at Duke and then he went to Georgia. So
Before the transfer portal.
yeah, he was like the original transfer guy.
That's when you had to sit out a year.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
But anyways, thank you, man, to all of our listeners and viewers out there, wherever you pick up your podcast, whether it's iHeartRadio app or Apple Podcasts. Thank you always for tuning in. Give us a 5-star rating, like, comment, subscribe, give us a review. You can also see us. Check us out now on the new NFL
YouTube channel.
I appreciate that, Peanut.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, man.
Hey,
And
team,
always, like I always say, man, tell a friend to do what, Peanut?
Tell a friend.
There we go, man. Come see us, man. Come check us out. We're doing big things. Letting all these NFL guys tell their story and pour out to everybody else so then they can be poured back into.
I'm Peanut. That's Rome. That's Ben. This is the NFL Players Second Acts Podcast. And we out. Appreciate y'all.